Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of In a Snap. And in this episode, I'm going to run over 5 of my Lightroom shortcuts that I use pretty much every time I'm editing photos. They're really helpful. Shortcuts are really helpful. They just take a little bit of memorizing to learn, but once you get them down, you can really start your workflow editing, and you just boom, 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 and you're done. It really helps out with that. So my first favorite, and probably everybody's favorite shortcut, not just in Lightroom, but on computers in general, has to be Command-Z, Control-Z on a PC. So Command-Z on a Mac, Control-Z on a PC is the universal undo. Everybody knows the Command-Z do the undo feature. Sometimes I wish I could do a Command-Z on life, undo something that you did that was stupid. But yeah, Command-Z, Control-Z, it just undoes the last thing that you did before, and you can actually just keep clicking it, and it'll run back all the way through to where basically where you started. So that's an easy one. Everybody knows that one. My next feature that I use a lot is the resetting of your adjustments. So what that will do is, let's say you take the exposure up on something and you don't necessarily like the way it looks. You just want to go back to 0. What you can do is double click on the actual label that you're looking at. So let's say you like I said, bump up the exposure. Just double click on the word exposure, and it'll reset it back to 0. I use that often. It's kind of like a secondary undo if you don't want to do the regular undo. But yeah, I normally use that one a lot. The next feature that I like to use is the clipping mask. The clipping mask is the J key on your keyboard, and what that does is it'll show you whether your highlights or shadows are blown out. So let's say you have an image of a landscape, and then you're afraid that you have too many whites in the image in your image, so you just click the J and you can see where your whites are blown out or your highlights are blown out. Same thing with your shadows. You'll see a blue in the image, and that's where your shadows are just black. There's nothing in there. Same thing with whites, it's red. It'll display as red. So that really helps out, and allows me to see what areas I just completely lost detail in. So yeah, it's a J on your keyboard, and that'll show you the clipping mask. The next one I try to do, and I try to do this often, is use the Q key on your keyboard for spot removal, especially if I'm taking pictures of portraits and I need to do some quick blemish removal or something like that. We'll click the Q key on your keyboard, and that'll bring up the spot removal tool. It's better than just going up there at the top and clicking the spot removal. You go ahead and click the Q, bring up the menu, and there you go. It's that quick, that easy, and you can start your blemish removal that way. And the last little shortcut that I use, and I use this pretty much every time I'm editing photos, is the / key on your keyboard. The / key will show you the before and after of your photo. So let's say you make a whole bunch of edits and you kind of want to see where you come from, but you don't want to reset the image. What you can do is just hold the / key on your keyboard, and that will display the image how it looked before you did any edits to it. And then you let go of the key, the / key, and then it will show the image how you've edited. So you can actually bring up the before and after panel, I guess, if you wanted to see it side by side. But I just found that if you just want to see where you came from as far as your edits goes, then that's an easy way to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little shortcut roundup as far as Lightroom goes. These are just some of the most helpful ones that I've found. So try them on your images and see how it'll improve your workflow. And as always, guys, thanks for listening to the podcast, and thanks for listening to the In a Snap segment. Head on over to PictureMonk.com/podcast to rate the show, and I will see you guys in the next episode.